Hello, viewers. Thanks for watching my show. My name is Jason Robinson. I'm an educator, journalist, and pageant enthusiast. I hope you enjoy my show. Please click the subscribe button so you can be aware of when I have all my shows. Also, click the notifications bell so you'll get alerts when I post new videos. I'm so excited to have my guest today. My guest today is Miss USA 1990, Carole Gist. Carole, thank you for being on my show today. I'm
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so honored and humbled to have you. When I advertised that you were going to be on my show, the pageant community had a tremendous response. Tim Bailey said can't wait. Kendall D said awesome, can't wait. Laura Weil said I'm so looking forward to this one, and Daryl Presley said one of my favorite USAs. So people love you. One of my friends, actually Angie Rodriguez, she said she still has your Jet cover from when you were in Jet magazine.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with the questions. Could you talk about your background and how you first got involved in pageants?
Well, my mother got me involved in modeling when I was 12
Okay.
to help me feel comfortable about my height.
Oh.
And it was just fashion, the
Hmm.
runway shows, the mall shows at the malls, seasonal, beginning of school,
Right.
holiday,
Okay.
outerwear, that type of thing.
Okay.
And I was also on was newly on the competitive dance team. She got me involved in dance. I
Hmm.
wanted to get involved in dance because my cousin did dance.
Okay.
And I love dance. And I loved when we went to competition. It helped bring out the competitive spirit in me
Uh huh.
because I like to be able to go. It pushes me to want to work harder.
I see.
And while there at one of our national competitions, they had more than just dance categories. They had debutante modeling,
Hmm.
what they call spokesperson modeling. It was
Right.
different. It wasn't like the fashion shows. It seemed more structured and a little bit more disciplined. And I inquired about doing it. And I did my first one when I was 14
Hmm.
and won Miss Junior Continent.
Cool.
And so it wasn't like the pageants in terms of the questions and all of that. It was literally don't let that hoop swing back and forth. It was competitive modeling,
Okay. Hmm.
and so that's where I first had a little fun playing with around with it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Fast forward till I graduated from high school. I'm working in college,
Hmm.
and when I turned 18, I began doing auto shows
Okay.
and traveling around doing the auto show circuit with
Wow.
Ford.
Mhm.
And one of the young ladies who I had grown up with, from 12 to 18,
Hmm.
kind of I grew up with her. She was a little older than me. But we would model together. She was petite and
Okay.
I was very tall.
Uh huh.
And so she, every time she saw me out on the circuit, she would say, "Oh, you ought to go out for Miss Michigan. You ought to go.
Oh.
You would make a great Miss USA."
Hmm.
And that in '88, she had won Miss Michigan, Antonia
Oh.
Dotson,
Okay.
and was Miss Congeniality when she competed at nationals at USA.
Okay.
And when she came back, she was just even more convinced that I should do it.
Hmm.
And so every city, every stop, every tour on the auto show circuit, she would ask me, "Did you apply yet? Did
Uh
you try out yet? Did you?" And I actually did it to stop her from asking me.
huh.
She wore me down.
Well, I'm glad
So
she did.
she wore me down, and I did it in the first year that I in '89.
Uh huh.
The process was to basically almost be interviewed as if you were already in the pageant, just like you go through the round robin or the
Right.
panel of judges. I
Mhm.
did that to even be considered a delegate.
Okay.
And so, like, I don't know how many weeks later, might have been a month after going through that process, I got a letter that said I was eligible to compete in Miss Michigan USA.
Okay. Cool.
I threw it in the drawer.
Oh.
I did not go. I was just happy to be able to tell her that I tried. So the
Right.
next time, the next city, if she had asked me, I was like, yes, I did. I did apply. I did apply.
Uh huh.
And then the next year, '90 rolled around, and I had gotten an earned scholarship for college. And
Okay.
with that one Christmas, everybody in my family got a Christmas gift once they made the mistake of telling me I could withdraw from my scholarship fund like it was a bank account. So I bought everybody Christmas gifts
Uh huh.
and ended up short on the following semester's tuition.
Oh.
So When I came home for the holidays,
Mhm.
a letter was sitting there and waiting saying that congratulations, you're still eligible to compete
Right.
in Michigan. And then
Uh-huh.
that's when I did it.
Cool, cool.
At the end of that year,
And you won the first time?
first time.
That is cool. That is cool. So, what did you do to prepare for Miss USA?
Live my life. Literally, I was a college student.
Uh-huh.
The classes that I had, I won in November,
Mhm.
and we were leaving in February.
Oh, okay.
So
Not
it was
long.
not a lot of time at home. So
Right.
I was still in fall semester, and the class I had was statistics, government, and statistics,
Hmm.
or economics and government and economics.
Okay.
Those two classes, basically part of the curricula and I had to watch the CNN and read the
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal. And so I was also on the pom pom squad. Um,
Okay.
I had put down, track, they dropped the track program. So in order to keep my two sports scholarship, I picked up pom pom and then ended
Oh,
up being voted captain of the pom pom squad.
very cool.
So I stayed very active. I was already athletic. I had coming out volleyball season
Yeah.
and preparing for that, and in the pom pom squad. So I really just lived my life.
I will
I was
throw
on,
in
I had the walk stuff down, so
right.
to speak. I had current events down for classes
Hmm.
and what was going on in the world. And the main thing I worked on when I met with my coaches who lived in Ohio,
Uh-huh.
and I would meet with them a couple weekends, was interviewing,
Okay.
trying not to raise my eyebrows. Um,
Oh, is that a
and
thing? Don't raise your eyebrows?
yeah, that
I didn't
was
know that.
it. I think you did it too much,
Oh,
and
oh, okay.
it's like a surprise look, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. It was little quirks I was not aware of. So
Right.
it was being videotaped, answering questions, and then playing it back and say, "Don't do that."
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that was my interview coaching with my pageant directors, and then I practiced going down the stairs, and I was so happy because I was one of the few that
Uh-huh.
was able to walk down the stairs without counting and looking at each step.
Yeah.
So
Very
that was
cool.
all my pageant prep. Nothing glamorous, but
Uh-huh.
I just tried to polish the little
Right.
rough old me, little girl from the city of Detroit.
Yeah, and I will throw in we have a little Michigan connection. I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and a lot of my friends went to like Cass Tech, and your high school and all that. So Michigan, Michigan. All right, so I have a video of your crowning moment that I want to play for the viewers, and then I want to ask you what were you thinking and what were you feeling in that moment. So for the viewers, here's the crowning moment of Miss USA 1990 Carole Gist.
Runner-up if Miss USA can't complete her reign for any reason, including the possibility of winning the title of Miss Universe this April. Our first runner-up will be Miss USA. We have two sensational women left. Much good luck. Only one can be the person. I will announce the name of the first runner-up and then Miss USA. First runner-up is Miss South Carolina. Miss USA is Miss Michigan, Carole Gist. You are the new Miss USA. The cash awards and prizes are yours, and you'll be our country's representative in Hollywood in the gala 1990 Miss Universe pageant. Your predecessor, Weston Paul Hemus, now will lead the Miss USA Queen. Our entire cast serenade you. This stage is yours, Miss USA 1990. The night is yours.
So, what were you thinking? What were you feeling during that moment?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to give glory and honor to God, my
Mhm.
heavenly Father, and my Lord and Jesus, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Right.
It was, I don't know, it was awe inspiring in that moment. It was like just like I'm trying to have disbelief, but he did just say she wants first runner up, so that means I won. And I'm like, wow, really, 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 really. And the next thought was maybe my family will love and accept me.
Oh, okay.
And that's a part of my healing journey to just actually walk in my truth of who I am, knowing that I was meant to be here. I was
Yeah.
meant to be born, and I have a purpose, and my walk will impact others for
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
I didn't have all of that then in that moment. I just was like, me.
Yeah.
So I
Aw.
struggled with acceptance, dealing with acceptance for many, many years.
Hmm.
And that I felt like that was a pinnacle, like, oh, they can be proud, um and I could feel the love that I think I had longed for in
Hmm.
an accepting way. And then the next thought was like, wow, that positive visualization and confession worked.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I had literally wrote Carole Gist, Miss USA,
Uh-huh.
on post-its and had them everywhere.
Oh,
Everywhere over
wow.
my wall
My
with
God.
post-its.
I should
And
try that
I put it
visualization.
everywhere. I was like, Miss USA, Carole Gist, Miss USA 1990, Carole
Hmm.
Gist, Carole Gist, Miss USA. And it was everywhere. So even some of my suite mates in our apartment, they would be facetious or being fun because I had them everywhere. So even they could see them. They're like, hey, Miss USA. Hey, Carol, Miss USA. And I'm like, that's okay. Even if you don't mean it, you putting it out there in the universe. It's all good. Say it some more. Say it some more.
Right. I actually can relate to you on the like the longing for family acceptance thing. It's very weird that you bring that. I always felt like I had the middle child syndrome. I always was a middle child, and like although I won scholarships and did so much, I guess I didn't always feel the love. And I think Kenya Moore had a similar story too, and I want to talk about her a little bit later. But you were the first Black Miss USA.
Yes.
Was that in your
And
head?
first from the state of Michigan.
Right. Did you realize
And
all that?
first to break the Texas chain.
Right, because they had like 5 years in a row won, right? Did you realize all that in that moment as well?
No, not right there in that moment. It was after, just maybe I think that they rushed me off to a little mini press conference. And I
Uh-huh.
think in that moment, it was like the realization of it hit me.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And then I just wanted to make, I literally felt a little weight. It's like, don't mess up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be the one who messes it up, like don't mess up. Then it might be harder for any other women of color to come
Yeah.
behind you. Don't
Yeah.
mess up.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to know, and a lot of fans wanted to know. Of course, you know what happened to Vanessa Williams during her when she was first Miss America, and even girls. I won't say what state, but a lot of times when girls have been the first African American, they have experienced hardship. So, do you feel like you felt any negativity or something during your year, like being the first Black Miss USA?
I will say this. The people around me, the chaperones, the
Mm.
pageant staff, they did a really good job of protecting me from some of the more, to me, sad and angry and
Right.
frontal, violent
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
letters and all that kind
Oh.
of stuff. We
Wow.
didn't even have social media like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that letters and phone calls came in with death threats
Oh my
and
God.
just in such disbelief, like how dare you consider that woman that monkey,
Oh no.
and all these little awful things, but they didn't tell me. It was
Oh.
after when I found out about that. I used to think it was a little strange, like, wow, they got a lot of security. Do they do that for everybody? And it was after the fact that some of the security detail actually told me about the death threats.
Oh.
And like even when I came home for my, my homecoming, the Michigan militia, some other hate groups,
Oh no.
supremacy groups,
Wow.
didn't like it. And I felt how sad for them to,
Yeah.
that they could not see that there's beauty in everyone.
Yeah.
And that there's not one
Standard.
standard of
Yeah.
beauty and one ideal.
Yeah.
In some cases, some only think a blonde and a blue-eyed woman
Right.
would have been beautiful. Somebody brunette and brown eyes still wouldn't have been as beautiful as the blonde and brunette. I mean, the blonde and blue-eyed.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever your standard is, it's okay for you to have that if that's your preference. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to be put down anyone else who's different from
Right,
that.
right, of course.
So, that was probably it. And I thank them, that they really did a good job protecting me from the worst of it.
Yeah. So let's switch courses. But what was like some amazing thing that happened to you, like a fond memory from your year as Miss USA?
Well, I do have many. I have very many.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, meeting Sidney Poitier,
Oh, cool.
uh, you know, Meryl Streep,
Oh, cool.
Maya Angelou. It was just meeting some wonderful and amazing people, having conversations with them,
Mm-hmm.
brief or long.
Yeah.
Um, Being able to walk the red carpets. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
that was fun. I mean, that's the glamour side.
Right.
Some of the more spiritual, meaningful things were dealing with the Boys and Girls Clubs was a part of my platform,
Okay.
and at risk troubled teens,
Yeah.
youth, and going to the detention centers, the facilities, and
Mm-hmm.
youth group homes, where I'm like, you're at a crossroads now, like about making decisions.
Okay.
No matter what type of background you come from, family, no family, orphan, foster care, abandoned, addiction from parents,
Mm-hmm.
abuse, anything beyond them actually doing something to you, the
Yeah.
decisions you make going forward are yours.
Yeah.
And that your choices will land you in jail.
Yeah.
Your choices will get you into trouble. And
Right.
beyond this detention center that just has a fence. The
Yeah.
next level is going to be armed guards. I mean, what are you going to do to not be back here
Mm-hmm.
in this position? And so that was just like, for me, being able to let them know I wasn't born. I come from low income,
Yeah.
single parent home, had some abuse, some
Mm-hmm.
trauma,
Yeah.
and addiction heavy in my family,
Mm-hmm.
that affected me, and things that were out of my control that
Mm-hmm.
did happen to me.
Right.
But I could like choose to let life keep happening or make a stance to take what I have, look at the good, look at the glass half full versus
Mm-hmm.
glass half empty, and say, I don't care if my mom and daddy can't get me to college, I'm gonna get myself to college.
Right.
And I did what was necessary, and including having 2 and 3 jobs at one
Mm-hmm.
time. I
Right.
did what was necessary and without excuse. So I always like time out for excuses. So there's no such thing as can't, or this happened to me, woe is me. I'm like, yeah, I take trauma seriously,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, if you want something different, you're going to have to do something different, and that means finding a way to change the narrative.
Right.
If the school isn't doing it for you, take your behind to the library and do some independent reading and learning on your own.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. In fact, the library became my safe haven.
Oh,
Things
wow.
were not good at home during my time of being homeless. I would hang out at the library and read
Yeah.
books and watch videos and learn. And so, because I just kept telling myself, I can't be a statistic.
Yeah.
I will not be a dropout. I will not be an unwed teenage mother or whatever.
Yeah.
And if that is somebody's story, that's fine. They can say that's not all I am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, I had a picture that I knew I didn't want to be, and I'm
Yeah.
going to work on trying to be what I have in my heart.
Mhm.
And that's just successful, happy, healthy, and safe.
Yeah, you are such an inspiration, and many people, even me, come from similar backgrounds, and like you said, no excuses. We got dealt the hand we were dealt, and you got to turn
Play the
around the
card.
narrative, right?
Play the card.
You had the library. I used to try to stay at school all day. I just used to try to stay at school all day, and go home at the last minute or something. School was my safe haven. But I want to switch it again to something a little bit different. I want to talk about your style and your glamour. So you said the dress that you got crowned in was not yours. I think everybody wants to hear the story of your dresses that you wore at Miss
It
USA.
became mine after I won, but it was not mine.
Okay.
I did not leave Michigan with that dress in my possession.
Okay.
So yeah, I really wanted a red gown.
Okay.
And my directors were very against it. Red is my favorite color.
I do.
Or was my favorite color at the time. I think fuchsia is like my favorite color. I like the bright color.
Okay.
But yeah, they got me a black and silver gown.
Oh,
And
okay.
I did not think the most of it at the time because,
Uh-huh.
every gown that I saw other people wearing, they were like heavily beaded and stoned. And this was like the glitter material that, like, if you sit down, you're going to leave present for everybody else to share. You're going to share the glitter. So
Right.
it had some like applique on it and everything. I wore it for prelims, and when I saw it back on camera, I was like, "Oh, it does glimmer really beautiful on camera." Right?
Right.
But in my mind, I just didn't feel like wow, because looking at it, not in the lights and on stage, it looked like
Uh-huh.
something my grandmother and I would have made.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't feel like it wasn't a name brand designer gown. It didn't have that structure. So I said, I'll take the gown they gave me. I want it, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine. It's going, but I'll just wear it for preliminary. And I got sponsorship, asked, different businesses for money to help contribute to, getting me to go. So the money that I was able to gather, I was able to get what I thought was a Lily Rubin original at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited. And of course, it was not long enough, and the sleeves weren't not long enough for my arms.
Oh,
So I had it lengthened and the sleeves let out.
okay.
They had to put a little extra beading around there to match it. So it was like, it's some work to go into this gown. I can't just buy off the rack. And there is one picture circulating out on the internet of me in that red dress. It's like
Oh, okay.
There's one dress out there. I mean, one picture out there.
Yeah.
And my hair is pulled back in a bun. And I during the opening number went out there and we're doing our parade of states and singing our song. We actually sang the song. I was one of 8 of those who recorded
Oh, cool.
the actual opening theme song right in the middle. And so we're doing our little thing, and they bring the judges out while we're in the midst of that, and I see the judge wearing my dress.
Oh,
The same color.
wow.
Just the same style, but the same color, red with the gold.
Yeah.
In that moment, as I'm doing the steps and moving and dancing, I'm like, ooh, she'll either hate me or love me. I'm still smiling, and Miss Alabama, whoever was next to me, I'm like, oh my God, the judge was on my dress.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when we cut to commercial, I ran backstage. Now it's time for us to get in our gowns for the top 16 cut.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't, my gown.
Right.
The judge has on my gown, and I'm like right ready to cry, trying to mess up the makeup. And Sherry Hill was backstage off in the wings.
Wow.
She had one little rack.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like the sunlight of heaven, angel beams, whatever. It's maybe 5 or 6 gowns hanging there.
Yeah.
Now the backstory is real quick. My roommate was Miss Arkansas. Okay. She already had a gown. She had 2 gowns. I think she had 3 or 4 gowns.
Okay.
But she made an appointment to see Sherry Hill. Had her come to the room. She wasn't there. She was late. I don't think she ever showed.
Okay.
But she had an appointment to meet with her to try on some gowns. And I was thinking, you come to the pageant and buy a gown? Wow, that must be really nice to have that kind of money.
Yeah.
What I was thinking. So since I was in the room, we were sitting there. It was a little awkward while she was waiting, because I thought, you can come in and wait for her. I said, do you mind if I try on 1 or 2 of these dresses? So we looked around, and I tried on 2, a white one and the black velvet with fuchsia. And I said, oh, that's nice. They don't quite fit up here, but oh, they're so pretty. It had such weight, and it was like, you just knew it felt like glamorous when you put it on,
Okay.
And so anyway, I felt like, well, I'm just gonna wear my gown and be happy. I'm be grateful for what I have. I'm thankful for what I have. So fast forward, now we backstage, and she got this rack of 5. 2 of the 2 that I did try on are still hanging there.
Okay.
I knew the white was too big up top.
Okay.
I went for the black because the shoes and the jewelry I had, it was going to work the best.
Okay.
I said, I'll go with that. Put it on. I had to find 2 different things to fill the top so it would stay up.
Oh.
2 sets of shoulder pads.
No.
Out of somebody's jacket. I don't know where they got them from. I still don't know where they got them from. They were different colors. I had 2 sets of shoulder pads to fill up the top with duct tape, y'all. Duct tape. Boom. Let's go. So when I see step out on that stage, my mother, everybody was scratching their head like, where'd she get that dress from?
Oh gosh. Wow.
And it worked out because they were both a little too short for me.
Okay.
And but because of that scalloped hemline and that pink, the little overcape with the fuchsia underneath,
Uh-huh.
that one worked out the best because of the way it opened up, like curtains opening up at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't notice that it was a little too short for me.
Interesting. What a story. What a story. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
one in a dress I did not own, and what else happened? Oh, I almost didn't make it. A car accident. I was run off the road by a drunk
What?
driver a month before the pat. Was it even a month? I don't. It was early in February.
Gosh.
So it
Wow.
was early in February. Now we left the last week of February. I
Mm-hmm.
still had the bruises and things all over my shoulder, my trunk,
God.
my chest, and my knees because my knees went into the dashboard. The car was hanging over the edge of a bridge, both front
Wow.
tires teetering. So yeah, I almost died then. Almost didn't make it to the patch.
Wow. Well, I thank God that he kept you
Yes,
safe
I
and,
did too.
and brought you there. So, what was it like competing at Miss Universe? You were first runner up.
Well, I was actually really exhausted.
Uh huh.
And that I'm so first I want to just shout out to my fellow sister queen Crystal Stewart, who will be taking over USA and team. It's really refreshing. It feels like now they can actually have their own director
Okay.
to prepare for
I
universe.
see. Oh, so you didn't have that.
No, it's the same company. So I mean they're
Oh,
doing team, doing USA and doing, universe.
right.
And it's not that they didn't give me, I didn't have any pageant coaching in between.
Okay. Yeah.
It was doing Miss USA stuff.
Right. Right.
So I
Right.
guess you can look at it as kind of, that's your prep. But the schedule was crazy.
Okay.
Out of the whole year, they talk about the apartment, use of this apartment you share. The only person that ever got to see their apartment as much like a regular person, literally is Chester. Maybe, maybe uh, it'll happen again this year, but out of a year, I think I was only in that mug less than 30 days. I would
Wow.
be gone. And literally, I come home for 2 days. It was enough to unpack, send stuff to the cleaners, get a facial, get my hair done, pack,
Yeah.
and I'm gone again.
Uh huh.
So I didn't get to enjoy an apartment. I was
Right.
gone 2, 3 cities or states in one day. It was
Wow.
here, there, J.C. Penney's, a speaking engagement, a youth home, Boys and Girls Club, blah blah blah. Literally, I wasn't feeling well at all
Oh
from the fever.
goodness.
I was drinking tea with cough drop throat lozenges in it,
Oh, I see.
nonstop, because I just was feeling run down and
Yeah.
achy. I mean, I might have had the flu. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have had one for you. I was exhausted.
Right.
So I didn't feel my best, but I did the nasal decongestant, drank my tea, and went out there and smiled.
Well, you didn't feel your best, but you won first runner up. So I mean, wow, you couldn't have done much better.
Maybe if I had felt better, I would have won.
Exactly. Well, so what has life been? Well, let's go ahead and talk about Crystal Stewart and so there's new leadership.
Yes, that is
Some of the
amazing.
fans wanted to know like what there's changes that has taken place. What did you not like? What would you like to see? What do you think of new leadership? All that stuff.
Well, new leadership is wonderful.
Mhm.
I mean, also the fact that it is a woman of color. I mean, it's very timely, it's very apropos, however it came to be. Of course, I'm excited
Yeah.
because that is one thing that in its 60 plus years, representation amongst the directors and the board of directors,
Hmm.
the staff, it's been very limited.
Oh,
And
I see.
don't see a lot of you. And so that was
Yeah.
also another issue in other organizations as well. You want to attract more diversity, but there
Hmm.
is no diversity in your board. There is no diversity in your director pool
Yeah.
of who you allow franchises to and all of that. So the lack of diversity, and then the individual states, how diverse are their teams, are their boards?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a trickle down of if you don't have the diversity, how are you going to attract a more diverse group of
Hmm.
women? Um, because we do want to see ourselves.
Yeah.
The young Indian girl wants to see herself. I
Yes.
mean, how amazing when you see them even competing in their burqas and their hijabs and
Mm-hmm.
still feeling beautiful and glamorous and elegant and representing, and some little girl somewhere saying, "Oh, she looks like me. Maybe I can go out for the pageant one day."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no different than a young girl, a young brown girl,
Yeah.
thinking, thinking and feeling the same thing.
Yeah. I am a Miss America guy. In the last few years, I've noticed the judges panels at the state pageants are not diverse. And actually 2 years ago I emailed some of the states. I'm like, come on, get some diverse judges, because like you said, when the candidates and delegates are getting interviewed, it would help, to see somebody who looked like them on the panel. I think so that's one thing I'm passionate about, like the judges panels, especially in the Miss America system. Let's get diverse judges. What has life been like after the crown?
Well, it's been life. I mean, I stayed in LA because that's where our apartment was at the time. It wasn't New York. That
Mhm.
came later. And I was a studio singer, background singer. I
Oh,
went
cool.
out. I was did several pilots. They didn't get picked up, but I
Mhm.
I was trying to work in the business, and eventually I had my fill
Yeah.
of that like pressure to do. I didn't want to be a Me Too movement girl,
Oh,
and I just made a choice for myself: go home.
what do you mean by that, if you don't mind elaborating?
The casting couch.
Oh, now I get what you're saying. Oh, okay.
I was like, I guess I won't get that part. Bye.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, yeah.
I had been I'm a survivor of sexual of abuse and
Yeah.
molestation, and that was just a line I could not cross for
Yeah.
me. And I kept saying, like, that can't be what you have for me, guy. I should not have to do that to
Yeah.
even get a good shot, an honest opportunity to go out for a role, to audition for a role.
Yeah.
And the more I was faced with that, I just kept saying, okay, is this you trying to say you don't want me here?
Mhm.
Go on. Something else, So I had the most fun being a studio singer and doing I would do the demo tapes for songwriters to shop the song to a name brand artist, a more popular or notable artist.
Mhm.
When they would listen to new songs, I got to do that, and I enjoyed doing that. I had so much fun doing that. I met so many cool entertainer, musicians, singer songwriters, and artists doing that. And but yeah, I came home, I finished my degree,
Mhm.
and I began working in my field. I had my daughter. I you know finished up my degree and started working for Marriott hotels and Ritz Carlton. I
Mhm.
worked my way up to guest service manager, and that still was on the back of my mind. Like that,
Oh,
something
wow.
that I said. What I said in the pageant was to one day be the first Black female, that is, too, and then on top of just being the first female of a
Mhm.
Ritz Carlton property.
Okay.
It's literally, I mean, being from Michigan and being from Detroit, you got Motor City, right?
Yeah.
So the auto industry is the good old boy industry. I was working for couple dealerships too.
Mhm.
And it was likewise even in the hospitality industry. Most of the general managers were older white men.
Yeah.
And if they had families, they would work it out in their contracts to, have the penthouse, have a spot in the hotel, or they didn't see their families. And so I could
Mhm.
see how it would be harder for women to have to choose, like,
Uh-huh.
between family and work to get there.
Right, right.
It was still, at that time, it was still a goal of mine to see that happen again. Maybe that's maybe I was bit by the bug of trying to be the first again at something,
Mhm.
or that was just always in me. I don't mind that I don't see somebody like me. I'm still gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try.
Right.
So
So, well, I'll say that I'm friends with a famous actor on Facebook, and he did say when the Me Too movement came out, he said that he had both males and females propositioning him, and he said that he thinks that his career would have been bigger if he would have taken them up on it. So it absolutely happens. You're right. I want to talk about Kenya Moore just because I'm a fan of hers. So she was the second Black lady to be Miss USA, right? Can you say anything about her? Did you advise her, help her? Were you friends or anything? I just want to talk about Kenya for a second.
Kenya and I, yes, we were we were friends, and I would still consider myself her friend.
Uh-huh.
She hasn't returned any of my attempts to reach out to her
Oh.
in the last couple of years, but
Hmm.
we had a great time at the last anniversary, the 60th anniversary in Las Vegas, and
Uh-huh.
we had a great week with her and reminiscing and catching up. Um, but Kenya and I, we've known each other since 12 and 14. We
Really?
danced together in the
Wow.
Detroit Rockettes.
Oh.
I used to braid her hair.
Oh, cool.
It was long. I used to do Pocahontas braids and braid her
Uh-huh.
hair when we get ready for a competition or a show. And kind of the Detroit Rockettes, we kind of had a little Dallas cowgirl feel because
Yeah.
one of our main uh I guess identifier things, we wore white cowboy boots when we
Okay.
danced.
Mm-hmm. Like the Dallas
So
Cowboys
I
cheerleaders.
always remember sometimes feeling like we were Dallas
Yeah,
cheerleaders.
yeah.
And we would do all our, the can-cans and the kicks like the Rockettes, but in cowboy boots. But and then we had other, with just the jazz shoes and gym shoes, but we danced together. We didn't live very far from where her grandmother's house was, near the house that I had grown up, both off of Joy Road. She was on Oakman Boulevard and I'm on Joy Road.
Okay.
Literally, I could walk to her house.
Right.
She was less than a mile away from me. And I had a kinship. For me personally, I had a kinship with her because we had a similar story.
Yeah,
And
right.
we didn't have it easy, and our
Yes.
fathers weren't there like they should have been.
Yeah.
And our mothers weren't there like they could have been or should have been. And my grandmother was my saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who I got off the street from, living and bouncing between two friends' house and a car. My grandmother came and found me. I don't even know how she found me, but she came and found me and told me I was going to stay with her. And this was my father's mother. I didn't have a relationship with my father, but my father's mother came and found me and was like, you do have somebody who loves you and you have some place to stay. So that's how I ended up not being on the street anymore, trying to still keep my grades up and go to school. And so because of this rough thing we had, I, it was my activity that kept me out of trouble.
Right.
Trying to, dance, modeling, I would get rides, ride the bus. I didn't make it. I got there the best way I could, asking for a ride, begging for a ride, taking the bus, getting there, because that was how I could feed myself and clothe myself,
Mm-hmm.
was with the money that I could make modeling. And so, yeah, we competed in one other pageant system. There was just a local pageant called Miss Black World,
Uh-huh.
and it was Miss Black World Michigan.
Okay.
When I first did it, I thought there was a Miss Black World, but I guess
Right.
there wasn't enough states to come together to
Yeah.
actually have a national one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the hope, but it didn't work out. So anyway, the year she won, I was her first runner up, and then she crowned me the next year when I ran for that again. And I looked at it still as more of a pageant talent. Kind of, it wasn't like the traditional big pageants. But I sang. I can't remember what she did, but I know I sang, and we didn't have an interview. I think we answered a question on stage, but it wasn't the interview process. So we just modeled the gown, and I'm trying to remember what else we did, but it was just a local one, and I did it to get some more money for school.
Right.
So we had that where we traded off, and then I went out for Miss Michigan. She went out, 2 years later. I remember running into her at the national NAACP dinner in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Darn, you did it first. I wanted to be Miss USA first." So
Oh.
that was the only other thing she said to me at that point
Oh.
after I had won, because that was my I was one of the guests there at that dinner that year, and I wore the dress that I had worn in Miss Universe at
Mm-hmm.
the dinner, and I ran into her there, and I remember her saying, she said, "Darn, you did it first." I said, "Well, you did. You won Miss Black World first, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
did after you. So now you'll win Miss USA next." So I remember
Yeah.
telling her that
That's
I won,
cool.
and I said, "So you'll be the second one," and she was, and she was.
That is very cool. What a cool story. And then hopefully one day
I
you,
didn't get to crown because she waited, to
yeah, a
try.
couple years, right. Hopefully you'll rekindle that relationship one day. I think I only have like a two-part question left. What advice would you give Asia Branch, the current Miss USA, for competing at Miss Universe? I love her, by the way. And then what advice would you give girls who are competing who want to be Miss USA? So you did so well, all these pageants. So what advice would you give?
Well, I mean, these women that are winning these now, I mean, are so amazing.
Uh-huh.
I, just keep being you.
Yeah.
Zoe is amazing in her own right and
Mm-hmm.
so well spoken, and she represents her country proudly and her family beautifully,
Mm-hmm.
and all brown girls awesomely. And Asia, I love her spirit. And so
Yes.
I'm just like, just don't let this change that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let that light and that like sweet innocence.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know my stuff, and I
Okay.
don't think I'm not intelligent. Like I
Right.
can give it to you. But I sound so sweet while I'm telling you. Love her.
Yeah.
I was there when she got crowned, and I from the
Oh.
very beginning when I had watched the videos of all of the contestants prior, and she
Uh-huh.
was one that stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then watching it go from the first cut and on down, she was always in there. So I
Yeah.
knew she was going to be top 3 if not win. But as
Yeah.
we got closer and they were answering the questions, she was nailing it in the coffin, nailing it in the
Yeah.
coffin.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. There's our winner.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can understand how you take your test and turn it into a testimony, and
Mm-hmm.
she and her life and dealing with an incarcerated parent, and just probably even the injustices of what happened. I mean, coming from Mississippi, being the
Yeah.
first, not just in the USA system, but also in the America system,
Right. Right.
phenomenal. I'm like, I need to be asking her for advice. I don't know where else I would tell her other than keep shining,
Mm-hmm.
keep God first,
Yeah.
and always walk out your truth and your purpose.
Yeah.
She'll never be disappointed, and no one else could be disappointed in her.
Yeah.
And I'm proud. I was sitting. Her parents were like one because they had us socially distant.
Yeah.
They were right, but beside me. They had a stagger.
Uh-huh.
So if the chairs were pulled up, they would have been next to me.
Right.
They were sat back behind me, and I watched their faces the whole time. And that was just so amazing. And I was glad I was able to witness Zoe be crowned
Mm-hmm.
and see Asia be crowned.
Yeah.
Just keep letting your light shine. That's what I felt inspired to do when I went to compete after I arrived, and I thought, oh my God, there's so many beautiful women. What am I doing here? I just need to turn around and go home. And I
Oh.
felt like this spiritual, like, jerk in me, and was like, no. It's like God was saying, you are just as worthy, intelligent, and beautiful as any one of these other young women.
Right.
To you to allow your light to shine ever with any other young woman. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm in competition, the best me, the best version of me I can be in that moment, in that time, and on that day. And that's it.
Right.
And so keep shining, let that light shine bright for
Mm-hmm.
everyone to see. What, as you can see, there's shown the brightest at
Right.
the right time.
Yeah, I love Asia. I interviewed.
Preparation could never be wasted. So always prepare, no matter
Right.
what. I mean, you can be beautiful and intelligent, but it's okay to polish it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
fake. Now, if it's practiced, because it's so foreign that it's so practiced that it's plastic, nobody's voting for plastic patty.
Right.
Patty.
Be yourself.
But
Be
when it's
authentic.
yourself and it's just you, and you just polished you,
Yes.
it is a beautiful combination, and that is what attracts the eye of the judge.
Right.
And like they want to watch you through all of the phases to see does there any break in that chain?
Mm-hmm.
Is that rehearsed, or is that natural je ne sais quoi?
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it factor, that wow, that thing that makes you stand out and uniquely you.
Yeah.
And no one can do you better than you. So just be you.
Right. Well, I want to thank you.
Beautiful young ladies, be you.
Mhm.
Be the best version of you can possibly be, because you're beautiful just as you are.
I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me today. And I want to thank you for what you've done for the world, just being an inspiration, past, present, future, just everything. Like, you're an inspiration. So thank you for taking time to talk to me. And I hope the people who watch this just grow and get something from this interview. So I'm going to finish up with the audience. If you don't mind, you can stay on for another minute while I'm talking to them. And then I'll come back and finish up with you. To the viewers, I hope you really enjoyed this interview. Like I said before, please subscribe, click the notifications bell. If you'd like to reach out to me, my email is jasontimothy.robinson@gmail.com. You could donate to my Cash App, $JTROBINS, or my GoFundMe. Look me up on Facebook. Once again, I hope you enjoy the interview and have a good day.